Okay, I am going to record this for you so that I can post it so that if you get stuck whenever you are at home reviewing, like I know we're all going to do tonight, right? Yeah. Then you can refer back. An equation whose graph is a line is called a what?
Linear.
A linear equation. A linear equation. Okay, this says graph the linear equation on graph paper. Please number each problem. Please number each problem on your graph paper. I'm not going to play if I were graph number 2, where would I be? And I'm not going to have to because you are going to clearly label. And that's going to look like this, a number 2. And the very first one says y equals negative 5x. What is my slope for this one?
5.
What kind of 5? Negative 5. It's a negative 5 over 1. So am I going to go up 5 or down 5? Down 5. My over is always to the right. Where does this one start? Does it tell you a y-intercept? So if it doesn't tell you, it starts at 0. Close. 0. All right. So you're going to write your problem. You're going to make your graph. Start at 0. There's your first dot. You're going to go down 5, 1 to the right. Not that I've seen. Down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 to the right. Would you hand me a ruler? And then on your test, you are definitely going to use, thank you, your handy dandy ruler so that your lines are straight. Notice how my line is bigger than my graph. Don't make teeny tiny little short lines. Make them nice and big. And they have arrows on both ends. That's important. Okay, questions about that one? Is this going up from left to right or is it going down from left to right? Down. And if I look at my slope is negative. So does that make sense that it should be going down? Good. My next one is a little weird. It says y equals 5. What letter is this missing? X. So because X is the slope, or the M comes right before the X for the slope, what is this not going to have? It's not going to have a slope. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make my graph. Remember, this is X. This one's Y. I'm going to go up to positive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's a no slope horizontal line. No slope horizontal line. So I would write on my paper a y equals is a horizontal line, but an x equals is a vertical line. Just to remind yourself, okay? Ready for number 4? This one? Y equals is just a horizontal line. X equals is a vertical line. And the way I remember that is the y-axis is up and down, but its line is left and right. The x-axis is horizontal left and right, but its line is up and down. Okay? It's opposite of the axis. Let's look at number 4. 4 says y equals x minus 3. What does it have here? For x, which is the slope. So if it doesn't tell me, who was it that said if we don't know it starts at 1, where that 1 goes? Tell me, if we don't have a number in front of x, what is it? 1. Absolutely. 1 over 1. Up 1 over 1. Okay, and your lines, of course, will be much better than mine, but this is going to start right here at your b term, y equals mx, in this case, minus b. So we're going to start at negative 3. And then my slope is my direction to the next point, which is up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. Why is it up 1? Because it's rise over run, and this is a positive. Up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. We have my beautiful line, nice and big. That's a positive slope, and it's moving up from left to right, so that makes sense. Okay, are we good for 5 now? Okay, any questions about 2, 3, or 4? Okay, number 5. 5 is y equals negative x over 3 plus 4. What looks weird about that one? It has x over 3. How can I rewrite that? What can I put in front of x? 1. And I could rewrite it as y equals negative 1 over 3 x plus 4. It's the same thing, just 2 different ways of writing it, okay? So where's this one going to start? Where's my y-intercept? Positive 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this time I'm going down 1 over 3. So down 1 over 1, 2, 3. Down 1 over 1, 2, 3. Job. And again, it's going down as you move from left to right. It's gradual, but it's going down. And that makes sense with that negative sign. Okay, number 6. Number 6 is x equals negative 0.5. What did we just say about an x equals line? It's vertical, exactly. So I'm going to go find negative 0.5, which is the same as negative 1/2. So it would be halfway between 0 and negative 1. It's going to be right here. I'm going to go up and down. Number 7. Y equals 3/4 x minus 1/2. Now, what is the one weird thing about starting at minus 1/2? Okay, it's going to be in between. So let's look at this. So I'm going to start at minus 1/2. So I'm going to start right here. And then when I go up 3, I'm not going to go up 3 wholes because I'm working in halves. So I'm going to go up 3 halves. So I'm going to go up 1/2, another half, a third half. And then I'm going to go over 4 halves, which is 1/2, 2, 2.5, or 1.5, 2, sorry. And this is going to be my line. Now, if I were confused about that, what could I do if I were confused? I could make a what? Flip chart. And this would tell me that when 3/4 times 0 would just be y is negative 1/2. Y equals 3/4 times 1 minus 1/2. 3/4 minus 2/4 would be 1/4. So my line is a little wonky looking because I didn't get it right in the center of the lines, but we would end up with the same line. Okay. Okay, so X and Y. And we've decided -1, 0, and 1 are the easiest ones, right? So 3/4 times -1 would be -3/4 plus 1/2, right? So what is -3/4 plus 1/2? What does 1/2 convert to for fourths? Close, 2/4. So when we do -3/4 minus 2/4, we get 1/4. So when X is -1, this would be like 1, and so that would be negative and negative. So it would be, this is what I get for trying to do it in my head. -3/4 minus 2/4 would be -5/4. So at 1, it would cross at -1 1/4. At +1, it's going to be at about, a little over here. So either way, you could do it with the chart or you could do it the shortcut way. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's 7. What are the directions for 8 and 9? Who can read me those directions for 8 and 9? So you can either do X and Y intercepts or you can convert to slope intercept form. Which do you think is easier? Convert to slope intercept form. So if we're going to convert it, my slope intercept form is Y equals your slope times X plus your Y intercept. Which one of these terms is on the wrong side? The -3x. What are we going to have to do? We're going to move it right over and make it positive. Y equals +3x now plus 1. It goes in front of your Y intercept. So here we're going to have start at +1 and it goes up 3 over 1. On number 9, which term, 5x plus 2y equals 2, which term is in the wrong place? The 5x. So what are we going to do to 5x? Move it over here, and we'll have 2y equals -5x plus 4. Now we have a problem. We have to divide by 2, but we don't just divide that one by 2, we divide everything by 2. Y equals -5 over 2x plus 2. So we're going to start at plus 2 on the y-axis right here. And our directions are down 5 over 2. Down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 2. How have we done so far? Good? All right, that's the first page. Questions about that page? Or do we feel good about it if we had to do this on a test? Yeah. You do not have to use the T-chart. Her question was just if she decided to. Okay. All right. Good question. Okay, this one says find the slope. So we are going to need to figure out the directions from here to here. Don't forget, it's up and down, over, left and right. So where would I go from here? Would I go up or would I go down? Down 1. So -1. And then I would go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. -1 over 5. What about this one? Up 2 and then over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So up 2 over 6. Can that simplify to 1/3? Yeah. Because if you went up 1 over 1, 2, 3, you'd be another point right there on that line. Yeah. I would count either one of these correct. Now, someone earlier today said that from here to here was over 6 up 2, and they wrote the answer as 6 over 2. They put the run over the rise. You have to do the up or down first, okay? Does that make sense? Yeah? A slope that rises from left to right is what kind of slope? Positive. A slope that falls from left to right is a what kind of slope? Negative. As an idea about what we're going to do down here at the bottom. Kennedy, what do you think? Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. The most important part of this is labeling them. X1, Y1, X2, Y2. If you label them correctly and then you plug them into the formula, you should be good to go. Yes. Okay. If that works for you, then that's great. Okay. If you want to be safe, go ahead and label. So Y2 is -1 minus Y1 is -1 over X2 is -2 minus X1 is a 4. What do we have to do here? Make it minus negative makes a positive. Exactly. So now we have -1 plus 1. 0. -2 minus 4 is -6. So we have 0 over -6. And what do we call that when 0 is on the top? No slope. So you would need to write 0 over -6 and no slope. Questions about that? No? Okay, X1, Y1, X2, Y2. Y2 is 8 minus y1 is -3 over x2 is 5 minus x1 is 5. I have a minus negative here, so I'm going to turn this into a positive. 8 plus 3 is 11 over 5 minus 5 is 0. So 11 over 0, which is, say it loud, undefined. Find slope when you have to label x1, y1, x2, y2. We feel pretty good about that? So x1, y1, x2, y2, 5 minus 4 over -1 minus 10. 5 minus 4 is 1 over -1 and -10 is -11. Now you could either put that negative right here, or where else could you put that negative? Could you just put it out to the side? Doesn't matter where the negative goes. Okay? -1 over 11. Last one, x1, y1, x2, y2. So we have a -2 minus 0 over -7 minus -7. Minus negative becomes a plus. So we have -6 over 0, which is an, nope, undefined. I remember it this way. Undefined. The 0 is under the fraction line, so it's under undefined. Okay? All right, questions on this page, or do we feel pretty good? Feel okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, are these parallel? Oh, sorry, thank you. Y equals -5 and y equals 3. So a y equals line is going to be horizontal, right? So this is going to be horizontal at -5. This is going to be horizontal at +3. Are those parallel? Yes. Why? Okay, you could say they're both horizontal. They will not cross. They are both horizontal across the y-axis. What happens if you have y equals 0, x equals 0? Okay, a y equals 0 is going to go left to right, and x equals 0 is going to go up and down, and when you graph it, it's going to make a coordinate plane. So these are not parallel, and you could say they will cross or they are perpendicular. Yeah, I'm okay with that. If you want to graph it just to be super certain, or if you can look at it and say, well, these are both horizontal, they're parallel. One's horizontal, one's vertical, those are going to cross. What about x equals -4, x equals 1? Well, an x equals -4 is going to be a vertical line at -4. This is a vertical line at 1. Are they ever going to cross? So yes, they won't cross, or they are both vertical lines on the x-axis, something like that. All I'm looking for here is just to make sure you understand parallel and perpendicular. Okay, GW, you with me? All right, here we go. Next step, find the slope and the y-intercept. These are the ones where you just say M equals, B equals. M equals, B equals. M equals. If it's n slope intercept form, y equals something x plus or minus something. What is my slope here? 4. Or you could write 4 over 1. I don't care which one. Yes. Okay, so I want you to write m equals and b equals. Please don't just write m here and b here. Okay? Because I want you writing the number with the positive or negative. Okay? I also saw some people do M and an arrow, B and an arrow. Nope, write M equals and B equals. Okay? What's my B? -5. Is this one in the right form? What's in the wrong spot? My 6. When I move it to the end, it won't be negative, it will be positive. So now my M is 3/8 and my B is +6. This one has a typo because when I reformatted this was supposed to be number 24, y equals 6, but it got put on the end of 23, so just do that, and I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry. Okay, on this one, which one's in the wrong place? The -3.5. Bring it over. Y equals -2x plus 3.5. So my M is -2 or -2 over 1, and my B is 3.5. Is this one in the right form? No. But does anything have to cross the equal sign? No. So the only thing that has to switch is my x term should come first. But because nothing's crossing the equal sign, no signs change. So it's -1/2 and -5. How does that seem? Are we okay with that? Good. Cross out, identify the x-intercept. We're not going to worry about that. Okay, this is another one where this should have been number 26, but it's scooted up, so just do that. So this is y equals 1/5. So if I were going to graph y equals 1/5, this is number 25. On the y-axis, I'm going to find 1/5, which is going to be 1/5 of the way between 0 and 1. And that's going to be my horizontal line. Now, if you had to identify where it crosses the x, where does it cross the x? It doesn't. So the x-intercept would be none. It's never going to cross the x. On number 26, we have y equals 6x minus 7. So when we're graphing the linear equation, where do we start? -7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over 1. And if you look at number 26, this is a positive slope. So does that make sense that it's going up? All right, number 27. And then we're on to the last page. 27, y equals 4 minus 3/5 x. What's weird about this one? The x or the slope is behind the y-intercept, but are they on the right side of the equal sign? Yeah, so we just need to flip-flop these, but nothing's going to change sign. Y equals negative 3/5 x plus 4. So we're going to start at 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to go negative 3 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's going to go right to the edge. Okay. All right, questions about that page? Or do we feel pretty good about it? Huh? Oh, on the back. Okay. The weird thing about 28 on the back, the weird thing about it is it has a decimal. Decimals? Not really, but can I convert it? What is this? This is negative 1 and 4 tenths. So negative 1 and 4 tenths. How can I make that a number, mixed number? 14 over 10 minus 1. So y equals negative 14 over 10 minus 1. So I'm going to start at, oh, that is a terrible line, but okay. You can count by twos. You could also simplify this to negative 7/5. 1, actually, we're starting at negative 1, and then we're going down. And if we count by twos, it would be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Do what now? So we're starting at negative 1 because of the y-intercept here says negative 1. If it didn't tell me where to start, then we'd start at 0. Does that make sense? Okay. Well, you are correct. So this one would actually be right here. Good catch, Bent, because if we're counting by twos, that would really be, yeah, so this is going to be a rough estimate. How about that? Okay. Good catch. All right, last one. The last two sections say, so this was 28, so you would label that. 29, 30, and 31 say graph using X and Y intercepts. It does not say or convert. So you have to use X and Y intercepts. 3X minus 4Y equals negative 12. What would I do to find my intercepts? Okay, so I could put a 0 in for Y to find X and a 0 in for X to find Y. Or I could do this. 3X equals negative 12. negative 4y equals negative 12. Negative 4y equals negative 12. So I can set both terms equal to negative 12 and then solve. How can I solve for x? It's telling me to multiply by 3, so I'm going to divide by 3, divide by 3. X equals negative 4. Divide by negative 4, divide by negative 4, y equals 3. So if I were going to graph this, it would cross the x at negative 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it would cross the y at 1, 2, 3. I know it is so hot in here. No, it's hot in here.
Yeah.
Okay, number 30, 2x plus y equals 8. We would do 2x equals 8. And then y equals 8. Divide by 2, divide by 2, x equals 4. And y equals 8 is already done. So when you graph it, y would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second, I'll move it. Thank you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's for 30?
That's for 30. Two x equals 8 means that x equals 4 because we're not moving it to the other side because we're graphing using intercepts. Okay? All right, 31. One third x minus 1/6 y equals negative 2/3. 1/3 x equals 2/3. Negative 1/6 y equals negative 2/3. Okay, how do I divide by a fraction? Here's a tip. Keep, change, flip. So times 3/1 times 3/1. X is equal to 2 times negative 6/1. Y equals 4. A negative 2 times a negative 2 is a positive 4. Have x is 2 and y is 4. Now the final two. The final two, they've given you a graph and you have to write the slope intercept. So on 32, we need to put this in y equals mx plus b. Where does it cross the y-intercept? Harper, where does it cross the y-intercept? At 1. So plus 1. What are the directions from the first point to the next point? Ryland, what do you think? What are the directions from here?
Oh.
Up 1 over 5. Is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Up 1 over 4. So we would write that as y equals 1/4 x plus 1. And you still get the same thing. Yeah. So here, so where does this cross the y-intercept? 1. What are my directions? Down 2 over 1, 2, 3, 4. Negative 2/4 x plus 1. Could you simplify? You could. It doesn't matter. Okay, how do we feel about this? Good on some things? I posted a ton of videos on my Monty Under Topics. Watch them if you need extra help. I'll post this video as well, going through every problem in case you get stuck on one. Tomorrow, last day to turn in extra credit, last day to turn in missing work. Okay? All right, I'm here for tutorial if you need me.